Welcome back to Max's Lessons. This lesson is going to be a little bit different. It's for CSEC Social Studies. Just some of the bullet points that you may find interesting as it relates to groups. And that would be under Section A, Individual, Family, and Society. Go right on ahead. Feel free to just make notes as you go along. And of course, these are just bullet points that you will need to explain when you're writing for your social studies exams. So I'm going to stop talking here, but before I do, thank you so much for stopping in. Thank you so much for joining this one. Let's see how much it helps you, because there will be more for the CSEC Social Studies exams. First one is the characteristics of social groups. What makes a social group? One of the things is its structure. The common goals, voluntary or involuntary membership, marks of identity, common needs, interests, and values. The specific ways of interacting or they're determined by rules and regulations. There is an established pattern of behavior. There is cooperation to achieve group goals, and also there are sanctions. And these are the factors that makes a social group. Next up, we have requirements for group cohesion. How is it that a group will function? One is leadership, then we have control, then we have cooperation, authority, commitment, and loyalty. Now, what are some of the aspects of social interaction within and among the groups? One, there is competition, then there is conflict, there is cooperation, and of course, there is compromise. Now, what are the characteristics of an institution? When an institution becomes a social norm, what are the characteristics? One, it is made up of norms, mores, and values. Two, it endures over time. Three, it can be modified. Four, there are influence of the working of society. And five, the forms of the basis for the development of organizations. Now, when an institution becomes an organization, what are the characteristics? One, there is a hierarchical structure. Two, specific function. Three, there are written rules, fixed sanctions, and which can be endured over time, or the institution functions over time, sorry. There are symbols, and then there are rituals. Now, the functions of institutions. One, the function is as for economic purposes, for educational purposes, recreational purposes, religious or political. These are all different types of institutions, and these are the reasons that we have them. Next up, how do political parties prepare for elections? One, they select candidates. Two, they raise funds. Three, they conduct campaigns. Four, they identify important issues. Five, they monitor the party in power / the opposition. Six, they monitor the electoral processes. Seven, they commission public opinion polls. And eight, they make, the last one is that they make and publish a manifesto. That's their plan of action. Now, the factors that will influence the outcomes of elections include: one, media coverage; two, campaign advertising; three, public opinion polls; four, voter turnout; five, the voters' attitude to government; six, campaign strategy; seven, campaign spending. Now, the factors that will influence voter participation in an election: one, there is a campaign issue. Then there is the candidates. You also have voters' attitudes towards the government, voter loyalty to political parties, voter apathy or their dislike for the party, the education of the voter, the age, and also the income. Now, what are the types of government systems that exist? There is crown colony, constitutional monarchy, and republic. The structure of government and the principle of separation. One, within every government, there is legislative, there is executive, there is judiciary, and then finally you have the role of the security systems. Next up, we're talking about the functions of government. What does the government do? One, they would raise revenue through direct and indirect taxation. Two, provide social services, welfare, education, health, public utilities, Then they manage the finances of the country and what we call budgeting, then maintain law and order, create employment opportunities for the people, maintain international relations, and defend the nation state or the country. And finally, let's look at the characteristics of good governance. What makes governing good? One, there is participation, independence of the judiciary again, transparency, there is accountability, there is responsiveness to the needs of citizens, there is access to information, there is also prudent use of resources, efficiency with service and consultation, there is tolerance and freedom of expression. Now, that's the notes for it. And again, I said at the start of the video, these are only the bullet points, the notes. You would then need to expand on these, but I thought this would be helpful. I really did. If you have the bullet points to what makes your answer good, you should then be able to explain it away. Thank you so much for watching and stick around. There will be more.